Many people will be asking that at this particular point in time in Uganda.
Yeah.
That's a conversation that needs to be had. That's
well,
a conversation.
As you know,
that's
Charles,
a conversation
hold
that's
on,
absent.
Charles, as you know, this is important to say. From the very beginning to this day, I've always said we need a serious national conversation. That conversation, I've always said, must begin with truth-telling, objective truth-telling, independent truth-telling, about the key tragic episodes in our history. Let all the facts and truth come out, and that truth set us free. And then acknowledgement, whatever role we have played in the tragedies that beset our country, to acknowledge that, yes, I was part of this, I contributed to this. And then from there, we can begin talking about forgiveness, about mutual reconciliation. That is, and that remains to be done. That is important to be done. That remains my position. It's not about the personal things so much. It's about the national tragedies that our country has gone through. So that remains my position, and I hope we shall one day traverse that path.
Let me go back to, I know you'll not answer the question of how you and President Museveni got to reconcile at a personal level to lead to this. You don't want to go into that, but we'll let that slip for now. Let me go to Otunu Formula 3.
Yeah.
And the body that now you seek to lead, and that the country is sending you proudly to seek the seat of the United Nations Secretary General. You are going to what kind of body? What do you see as the continuing relevance of the United Nations to the world today? And I will give a particular, about two particular examples. The world has watched in horror the crisis in Gaza, the conflict between Israel and Palestine. 73,000 people killed. Majority of them, the people you put in resolution, you said 1620, 21?
Well, 1612 or
1612.
2005.
Yes. 1612 of 2005. Women and children. And the world has been looking on. The UN Secretary General has made statements, but has been unable to resolve that conflict. You're looking at a conflict just to our neighbors in the Democratic Republic of Congo. The United Nations peacekeeping mission, oldest, biggest, most expensive, impact on the ground is questionable. You're looking at conflicts across the world. You're looking at countries becoming more closed in than open. You saw the xenophobic expulsions from South Africa, March to March, sending out other Africans. Many of them have gone seeking a better life. You're looking at the crisis in Ceuta, Spain. People risking their lives to cross into Europe and being blocked, and you have a crisis all over the world. Where is the presence of the United Nations? What's its impact? Is it still in its time, or has it gone beyond its sell-by date?
Well, by the examples you provided, you've just sketched out why the United Nations is so important today. Why its role is more important than ever. And why, therefore, the United Nations need a leader who has a clear sense of what kind of leadership is needed today. You've just sketched it out. But let me say this. All the examples you've given are important and they're relevant. Perhaps the most important role of the United Nations since its inception remains the issue of peace, war, and security, meaning its role in preventing conflict, its role in ending conflicts, its role is in building and preserving the peace. So the UN needs a leader who has a good grounding in that. I happen to have that grounding. Very deep, very broad. It also means that the UN needs a leader because, you see, the Secretary General does not wield conventional power. He has no military strength. He doesn't sit on big resources as a national government might. He or she doesn't benefit from popular vote like national governments might. But the Secretary General has something else. It's soft power. It's moral authority. Where does this come from? It flows from the very principles of the Charter of the UN and the support of member states. When you combine these two, that provides the platform for the Secretary General. It provides the authority, moral authority of the Secretary General, provides the soft power of the Secretary General. So the Secretary General should be somebody who will be available, who is present in all these situations, recognizing that the key actors, the key decisions are not made by him or her, but that he or she is available, is a good listener, is probing in all these situations and probing for opportunities to be helpful. Opportunities like the Grenada crisis I talked to you about, or the crisis in the Security Council. It was all the big actors who were involved, but probing for opportunities to be helpful, to provide possible solutions, and to get the key actors to say yes to what he or she is proposing. It also means that the Secretary General must be somebody whose own personality and ego doesn't get in the way. Somebody imbued with a fair measure of humility, who will accept no, but also know that tomorrow it may be yes, and who is not shy to suggest, is not afraid to engage and to be present, to be a go-between, to be a facilitator, to be a convener. Whether we're talking about conflict situation, that is the role of the Secretary General. We are talking about the issue of environment and what we should do, that is the role of the Secretary General. We are talking about what is happening to civilians in situations of conflict, that is the role of the Secretary General. We're talking about financing development. He has no resources, but he must knock on doors. He must convene, he or she must convene and say, we need the resources for countries that are well prepared, countries which have done their homework, countries which are not mired in corruption. That is the role of the Secretary General. And that is a role that I'm very, it's like second nature to me. And it isn't a question of saying, I will do this, this is interesting to do. My own track record demonstrates multiple occasions when what I'm now saying I have put in practice to the benefit of the international community. And that's the reason why I think a large number of people within the global scene are interested in my candidature because they believe I could bring that to the table. And if selected Secretary General, I have a good idea what to do. Yes.
Some people watching us will be asking and saying, well, Olaro Tunu on the 7th floor, as they would put it in this country, served at the very highest levels of this body that he seeks to lead.
Yeah.
But the world has evolved. The relevance of the UN has been questioned, most notably by its biggest funder, its biggest backer, the United States of America. Many UN bodies are either folding or dysfunctional because the financing is not coming through.
Well,
how does Olaro Tunu step in this situation? What can he change about the global thinking about the place and relevance of the United Nations?
Well, you see, the United Nations cannot play an effective role if the institution does not have legitimacy. The Secretary General presides over the bureaucracy. The bureaucracy must have legitimacy. The bureaucracy needs to be reformed. So reforming the United Nations is one of the key roles that a new Secretary General needs to play and play well. Meaning, the Secretary General should identify the key areas of weakness to ensure that the United Nations spends whatever resources are given to it by member states spent well, that there is impact in what it does, that there's transparency in its dealings, including the recruitment of staff, that there's inclusivity. So the UN needs to be reformed and have a good idea what should be the areas of reform, because the Secretary General presides over the Secretariat and the specialized agencies led by Under-Secretary Generals under him or her. That is what the Secretary General is in charge of. There are other areas of reform, by the way, Charles, which are not directly under the competence of the Secretary General. For example, a lot of discussion is going on about reorganizing the Security Council, reforming the Security Council. Very important debate. But that is not the province of the Secretary General directly. That is largely between the 5 permanent members and the rest of the membership agreeing on a consensus what to do with the Security Council. But the Secretariat, the specialized agencies, how resources given to the UN are used, the issue of transparency, impact of the work of the Secretary General, that of the UN, that belongs to the Secretary General. And related to that,
Can we pick up that relationship after a very short break? We'll pick that up.
Very well.
I'll remind you.
Brought to you by
Cadbury. There's a glass and a half in everyone. T's and C's apply.
Remember the songs that made you sing, the moments that made you dance, the voice that captured a generation. Now, Grace Nachimera is back on stage. Join us for the Power of Grace Live Concert, a spectacular evening celebrating the music, the memories, the journey, and the incredible voice that has inspired audiences for years. Friday, 11th September 2026 at Kampala Serena Hotel. Alibud tickets 130,000 shillings, ordinary 150,000 shillings, and tables 3 million shillings. The Power of Grace Concert is sponsored by
Sometimes escape begins above the clouds, where peace waits beneath the trees. Here, nature invites you to breathe, to reconnect, to feel alive again. Where warm welcomes feel as natural as the forest around you. A sanctuary designed for comfort, and moments made to flow effortlessly. Forest Resort Lueza, where nature welcomes you home.
Did You Know? Brought to you by
Fake spare parts can be deceiving. They seem cheaper, they seem good enough, they get you moving for now. But what you don't see is the hidden cost, damage to your car, endless repairs, wasted time off the road, and potential risk to lives. In the long run, fake parts cost you more. Choose genuine parts from any CFA or mobility location countrywide.
Did You Know? Brought to you by
MTN voice bundle. Ay. Load. Hey. Hello, Mama. Hey, it is me, your son, Opio. Hey, now, Mama, listen to me. MTN has the offer. Yes, it has the offer. You load from 7 a.m. to 8 a.m. Now, they have free MTN to MTN minutes. And those minutes are there all day. So you load, you'll thank me later.
Load an MTN voice bundle between 7 a.m. and 8 a.m. and get 3 free MTN to MTN minutes valid all day. Dial *100 *21 hash and get your free minutes bully daily. Free your fire with free minutes from MTN. Together, our connection is unstoppable. MTN.
Color your world.
Slow melting, smooth coating, long lasting. Stand a chance to win your share of 17.5 million shillings in prizes. Buy any Cadbury Dairy Milk chocolate, scan the QR code or WhatsApp hi. Cadbury, there's a glass and a half in everyone. T's and C's apply.
Brought to you by
Cadbury, there's a glass and a half in everyone. T's and
Welcome back. You're still watching The Morning Breeze on NBS TV. And this morning we're hosting Ambassador Olaro Tunu, Uganda's candidate and Africa's candidate. I know there are two others from the continent seeking the Secretary Generalship of the biggest global body, the United Nations. Ambassador Tunu, as we come to the end of this conversation this morning, Africa has already produced two previous Secretaries General in Boutros Ghali and Kofi Annan. You stand at the precipice, but you face competition. Some of it is from this very continent. How do you fancy your chances? You have a former president in Macky Sall, and you have other distinguished contenders, especially from the Global South.
Well, it's a field of very strong candidates, very worthy competitors. They are all people who have very good experience, and they're strong candidates. But as I said earlier, what I offer is a very deep background of solid experience, of leadership, demonstrated in concrete situations, not one, not two, not in one sector, but several sectors. If you look at my CV, probably all the major international commissions that weighed in on various aspects of the work of the UN, I have been a member. And my work within the United Nations as ambassador, my work as Under-Secretary General, my work as president of International Peace Institute, which is the think tank of the United Nations, all of them have prepared me well for this role. And now, of course, as you alluded to earlier, it may seem irrelevant, but my recent engagement at the most local of levels, working at the closest possible range, at the grassroots, as you say, trying to join hands to revive, to resurrect a broken society, broken by war and encampment, and doing so on a non-partisan, non-political, non-confessional basis. That is now relevant if I should become Secretary General, because I speak about the global and the local community. And the UN must bring out aspirations and values and standards and policies, but they should go down, and from down they should go up again to the UN. So my own journey, by chance, as it happens, will actually greatly inform what we're talking about. You see, Rocho Pacho is not irrelevant to this, actually the center of this, because in the end, you want the UN and national government to touch the lives of ordinary people, to make their life meaningful again, to rehabilitate them, to give them an economy that functions, to give them hope. And that is what I've been doing the last several years in Uganda at the level of Rocho Pacho. Let me also say this, that I really want to give a big shout. I say again, Mvara Demonstration School, Mvara in Arua, produced me. Gulu High School produced me. Anaka Primary School, Muchweni Primary School, King's College, Buddha, Makerere, they produced me. My classmates in those places, my teachers. I was a very lucky person. I think I had the best teachers in the whole wide world during my educational career. And I wish that for our children, our girls and boys, if I, who went through these regular schools, could be considered for position of Secretary Generalship, all our children who are listening and who are in these schools should feel it is possible for them to rise and do great things. No ceiling should be imposed on them. We should give them the opportunity to thrive, So I hope that my candidature is seen in this larger context, and that the people of Uganda feel they own this candidature because it's their own product. And I'm very proud to be a product of Uganda and Ugandans. And I thank very much, President Museveni, the government of Uganda for the decision they made. I thank the people of Uganda for rallying and feeling, yes, this is our project, regardless of what may have divided us in the past and still divide us. We should work together on this. I'm very grateful for that. I'm very touched by their solidarity and their encouragement. And I hope that regardless of the outcome, this will have been for good for our country.
Just a quick one. When is the vote?
There is no set date. The process, the Otunu formula, has already started. Before the end of this month, I think there will be a second round of the Otunu formula, the straw balloting. It could be over by end of October, it could be November, it could go all the way to December or end of December. Just depends on how soon prospects begin to appear of a successful conclusion.
Okay.
So there's no set date, but before the end of the year, because the current Secretary General, his term ends end of December.
Okay. Now, just before, as that process goes on, how does Olarao Tuno move from being a Ugandan candidate to Africa's candidate, for example?
No, actually, Olarao Tuno was proposed by Uganda as a member state, and I'm very grateful for that. I'm very proud to be a Ugandan. But my leadership is a global leadership. It's not a Ugandan leadership, it's a global leadership. What I offer to the UN is a global view. The experience I bring is a global experience. Most of the work I've done, whether I was representing Uganda in the Security Council, the General Assembly, or just as Under Secretary General, was on the global scene. At the moment, as we speak, there are 2 candidates from Africa. That is fine. And there are, I think, maybe, 5 other candidates from elsewhere. That is fine. All the candidates have been proposed by member states. They have come individually. There's no Africa's candidate as such, just like there's no candidate of the Western group and others, or of Eastern group or others. That is fine. So that is where we are. But I just want to say that I hope member states, members of the Security Council will look at this candidature objectively. They will look at my experience, what I bring, my attitude. what I'm made of and the kind of leadership I've provided in the past, which makes me have a reasonably good idea what to do right away should I become the Secretary General.
And that's the question I wanted to end with. What are the 3 things that you'd want to do should you become UN Secretary General? And I want to give it some bit of context. In the context of climate change, that threatens to sink some of the member states, especially island countries, but is also turning inside out various communities. You've seen what's happening in Europe. 2, in the era of artificial intelligence and global advancements in technology. Number 3, in the field of, in a situation where countries are becoming more closed in than open.
Well, all those issues are important issues. In my vision statement, I have flagged 10 issues that I would immediately develop, elaborate, and make agenda for the UN. But if you ask me which are the 3 that I would engage with right away, maybe even within the first 100 days of being Secretary General, they would be the following. First, the situations of major conflicts and wars, to see what together we can do. Engage with the major actors, probe, listen, try to find ways by which we can get out of those tragedies. That would be one, very important. All the major conflicts, I wouldn't select this or the other. I'd probe and just see whatever opportunities exist to make a difference, make a difference. That's one. Two, the reform of the United Nations, of the Secretariat and the agencies that fall under the Secretary General, because we cannot be effective, we cannot have legitimacy if we are not doing business in a manner which gives confidence to member states. So reform of the UN Secretariat and these agencies which fall under the Secretary General, absolute priority. And I've got reasonably good ideas what I would do right away. And then thirdly, it is the emerging economy. The emerging world economy, as I mentioned in my vision statement, will likely be shaped, driven by artificial intelligence. And I would make it a point at the earliest opportunity to convene all the key actors, the major countries which are working on this, the private sectors and companies, scientists, technologies, policymakers, bring them together in a conclave and discuss how we can develop a regime, a mechanism for governing, for regulating, for ensuring that artificial intelligence is a force for good, common good, accessible to most countries and most people, and not something that comes to dominate us for the worse. So these 3 would be issues that I would embark on right away and have a clear idea what to do when I embark on them, and then the rest of the issues which are flagged in my vision statement.
There's a quest for Africa, especially, and much of the global south. I keep referring to the global south, to have a seat at the table among the 5 permanent members. And that has been elusive. The Security Council.
As I said earlier, reform of the Security Council, reorganizing of the Security Council is a big issue. But it's not so much an issue that depends on the Secretary General. That depends on member states, and particularly a compromise, a consensus being built between the 5 permanent members who have veto power. They can block anything from happening, including changing of the charter, and the other members of the UN. So this discussion is underway, but that one doesn't depend so much on the Secretary General. But the Secretary General's got his or her hands full because the reform of the Secretariat, the reform of the agencies that fall under the Secretary General, that is big enough in terms of reform agenda, and that is what I would work on absolutely and right away. And let me just say finally that really my life and my record is an open book. Let member states, the Security Council members, everybody look at that open book. if they find the experience I bring, the leadership I've demonstrated in the past, my way of looking at things, my non-partisan nature, my DNA in always trying to bring people together, whether in Uganda, whether at the UN or elsewhere, demonstrated by several examples, my creativity in terms of saying we should look and suggest. We should try to be creative. We should try to get out of this problem. And there are many examples that can be shown in my career at the UN. So I hope that that background, that experience, that trait recommend itself to the UN member states.
Ambassador Larotuno, thank you very much for being a guest. And good luck with your candidature and for Uganda, for Africa. But also that I hope that at some point I'll be able to interview you as Secretary General of the United Nations.
Well, from your lips to God's ears.
Thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you, Charles. And, good to see you again.
Thank you. Thank you. Have a good morning.
Thank you.
Brought to you by
Cadbury. There's a glass and a half in everyone. T's and C's apply.
Mwishongozi wawe ririye nabasoma kweshongori Kampala omuli Serena Hotel ebiro makumyesha tubikomena n'umwako kutandika no shamwenda emiryango neza kuba yigwirwe twatandikira kushemererwa jishuka ngushigatirwa beshongozi ba gospel bakunda abaratere nanga tukashashanoka ukutaha muri mitwaro leta VIP mitwaro 20 tables a miliyoni 3 hamwe na nita neza bamazireyo kumanya bukukiraho tera 08 50 59 nkaga ninda bishagicirwe.
Influence is more than followers, it's impact. At Next Influencer, we connect brands with the right voices through a thorough vetting and discovery process. We onboard influencers with hands-on workshops that build skills, unlock real opportunities, and fuel professional growth. Brands find the perfect match, influencers get dignified jobs, and audiences experience authentic stories. This is where influence becomes value. Next Influencer. Create, discover, connect, influence.
Every story begins in silence. In a village, along a street, in the heart of a dreamer no one notices. Yet stories hold the remarkable power to inspire, transform, and shape the future. The Uganda Film Festival, UFF, is back under the theme Transformation, the Power of Local Stories, to boldly celebrate creativity and talent that transforms our nation. Starting 21st to 28th August, enjoy the latest Ugandan films in cinemas and select screening venues and vote for your favorite films. Don't miss out on the transformational film workshops designed to inspire growth and creativity. Join us on 28th August to recognize, celebrate, and honor excellence in the film industry at the glamorous UFF Awards ceremony. For more information, call our toll-free number 0800 222 777, powered by the Uganda Communications Commission.
August 2026 is here! and Yada for Life presents Mujatu CZ 2026 Nsima edition on Saturday 29th August 2026 at Imperial Royal Hotel with a lineup of heavenly voices and ministers. Are you grateful to God for what He has done and accomplished in your life? Do you have a reason to ultimately thank God for? Get your deluxe ticket for 30K, gold for 50K, platinum for 100K, and the table at 2 million. Doors open at 4 p.m. Buy your ticket at Unique Uniforms, Uganda House, and at House of Rest, former Fidodido. For bookings and reservations, call 0760-595-316 or 0708-766-536. Mujatu Sinze 2026 Nsima edition, and proudly sponsored by Yuga Tunes, Afro Mobile, and Yuka TV, and NBS Music.
The National Mosquito Net Distribution Campaign is back. No one should die of malaria in this era. It is your responsibility to chase malaria from your home. The good news is that the government of Uganda has once again started distribution of mosquito nets under the 5th Universal Coverage Campaign, also known as the Under the Net campaign. Under this exercise, 1 mosquito net will be distributed per 2 people in every household. A village health team member, a community health extension worker, also known as a CHU, and the LC1 chairperson will move house to house to register members of the household in preparation for receiving their mosquito nets. Do not lie back. Ensure that you register all your household members to receive a mosquito net. On the distribution date, move to your distribution point and receive your net. Mosquito nets protect you and your family members from infectious mosquito bites that lead to malaria. Ensure that you receive the net, hang the net, and sleep under the net every night.
Remember the songs that made you sing, the moments that made you dance, the voice that captured a generation. Now, Grace Nachimera is back on stage. Join us for the Power of Grace live concert, a spectacular evening celebrating the music, the memories, the journey, and the incredible voice that has inspired audiences for years. Friday, 11th September 2026 at Kampala Serena Hotel. Alibud tickets 130,000 shillings, ordinary 150,000 shillings, and tables 3 million shillings. The Power of Grace concert is sponsored by
Looking for a household cleaner that truly delivers? Meet Apo, the antibacterial cleaning powder for bathrooms and surfaces. Apo is formulated for 3-dimensional cleaning. It's a scouring agent that scrubs off dirt and stains, a germicide that kills 99.9% of household germs, and it works with water to wash everything away, leaving your bathrooms and ceramics hygienic and sparkling clean. Keep up hygiene standards without breaking the budget. Switch to Apo today. Apo is available at supermarkets and convenience stores countrywide.
Too many ads? Expensive subscription? You deserve better. An artist, thousands of plays, but nothing to show for it. This ends now. Introducing Yuga Tunes, the new home of your favorite music on Afro Mobile. Listeners, stream your favorite songs ad-free at no cost. Artists, earn from every stream. Withdraw your royalties anytime from as low as 20,000 Uganda shillings. This is music that pays off. This is music that belongs to you. Yuga Tunes, your sound, your stage, your reward.
NBS. Always.
We stood here a couple of years ago and we said, you remember about the Silicon Valley? And we saw the systems shake and shake and shake. Now I'm telling you, there are other systems that are about to shake and shake and shake.
Watch The Power of Prophecy with Prophet Elvis Mbonye this Saturday, 6:30 p.m. on NBS TV, Uganda.
how do we then turn around to live in a system that tells the child that you're going to run 100 meters, but all of you must arrive at the same time? It can't happen unless we don't have a God who created us. Because when God created us different successes. But my success may come a little bit behind
Much
yours.
later.
Yes. I just need time.
Yeah.
So the education system doesn't give this child time. So it's simple.